This episode could have easily have went into a darker direction if Mugi didn't grow the fuck up. And when I say grow the fuck up, this man learned from his mistakes. He had some very good development in this episode. And it wasn't just Mugi, it was also Hana that actually developed as well. Even though her development wasn't as noticeable as Mugi's was, she developed as well. And this episode could have easily have went down a path of no return, and could have easily have become even more controversial than it already was. And so I just want to say the writer of this series did a good decision, did a very good decision with this episode, especially with making Mugi back the fuck up and just not do anything to his childhood friend Mocha. I'm really proud of the character, but also the writer for actually showing development, because from what we've seen so far from the series, I was under the impression that something was going to happen between Mugi and Mocha. I thought that was going to happen, what was going on towards the end, and it was going to go down a path of literally no fucking return. He stopped before it went too far, and so I'm really proud. I'm really proud of Mugi, and just showing that he has learned from his mistakes in the past, and he is changing as a person. Even though he knows he's a scumbag, even though he knows what he's doing is probably not the best thing he should possibly do, overall, he is showing changes to make him a better person, and that can be said for the same character as Hana as well. She is changing for the better too. Even though she is showing signs of that she's kind of scum, which we already knew, she is changing and learning from her mistakes, or realizing what is going on with her actions and how pathetic she has been. So let's talk about the situation of this episode, mainly Mugi and Mocha. And the point of this episode is kind of like an illusion. It's kind of like Mocha has been living an illusion all her life. She puts up this mask, or this, like, persona around her to make it look like she's cutesy and she's a princess, which is what we got from her character when she was introduced. I think episode 2 or episode 3. When she was introduced, she had this presence of like a standard childhood friend, lolly childhood friend that was just, trying to be cutesy like a princess. It's something you normally see from a shoujo manga or a shonen manga or, regular romance manga. It's something you normally see, that type of character just acting like she was. However, the way it dived into her character and added an extra layer of depth to it, I was really proud of, because the reason why she was acting like she was, all cutesy, she's putting on this cute clothes and all that, is because she was using that to her advantage, which that is something I really was proud of that the writer added into her character, showing that she is dressing up like this because she realizes she can take advantage of people, take advantage of how they view her, because they think she's cute, and then she can get away with that. When she cries, people feel very upset and bad or guilty, and then they'll say, I'm sorry, and they'll say what you want to hear. And so that's kind of what she's been doing her entire life. She's been dressing up and acting the part as a princess or a cute little girl, for people can view her in a certain way, and she can get away with anything she wants. Is what she was doing to Mugi for all these years. She was constantly acting sad, or she would get upset or whatever. She was saying these things to him for she could take advantage of him. And so she admits in this episode she's very aware of what she is and who she is behind the scenes. She's aware that she uses her cute side as a way to get what she wants, and she admits that. And she admits she's not all cute and cuddly and all that. She does have a darker side to her. And you see this, like, eternal struggle going on with her character when she's arguing with her, like, kinder, softer self, which is very similar to what we saw with Hana in last week's episode, in previous episodes, with other characters kind of arguing with themselves inside their mind. It's kind of like their pure side and corrupt side just going at each other and figuring out what is truly the right side, and how the corrupt side is just taking over the pure side. And that's what we see from Mocha in this episode, as she's arguing with herself and realizing what she wants to do. She's letting her lust, or her, her want for Mugi control her, and she's not thinking straight. She's getting corrupted thoughts, is what we saw from her character in this episode. Now, Mugi as a character, we know he's been corrupted. We know he's someone that relatively, he's not the most innocent person. We've seen him do some despicable things as well. But I am proud of him of how he put aside his pleasure and lust for the greater good, for stopping something that would have been really bad. It would have completely harmed his relationship with Mocha, and on top of that, he would have felt like absolute shit. He realized this when he was sitting there and about to go to a path to where he was going to actually have sex with Mocha. When he stopped that, he's like, I can't do this, and he just got up and all that. It's because it's you, because you're special to me, you're very important to me, I can't do this. It was like him saying, there's no way I can do this. You're important to me. You're like a good friend. And if I was to sit here and do something like this to defile you, it would be fucked up. I'd be using you. You're using me in your own way regardless. And it wouldn't be a proper relationship. And because he has so much respect for Mocha and he cares for her, he doesn't want to harm her. Even though he may not love her in a sense to where he wants to be with her as like a girlfriend-boyfriend type situation, he still cares about her deeply, and he doesn't want to hurt that. And we see the contrast between Mugi and, Mocha, and Hana and, her friend Echan. We see the complete difference, like the contrast between the way they handled their friends. And as we know, what Hana did, there's no way you can reverse what she did. Like, what she did, she went too far with Echan, and that relationship will probably never be fixed, ever. But at the very least, Mugi was able to save his friendship with Mocha, even though she might not want to be around him, even though she's probably done with him overall. She, at the very least, the relationship they had is still there. That's not been completely destroyed. They'll still be friends in some sense, even though they won't be girlfriend-boyfriend. At the very least, Mocha will be able to accept reality for what it is, and she will no longer live in an illusion / what she's been living throughout her entire life, thinking she's in a dream or whatever. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the direction of this episode. Probably the best episode of the series yet, because it's not just even the Mugi scene that really got to me. It was also the ending part of the episode, which shows growth in the characters, Hana and Mugi. Now, we do know with the way these episodes have been structured, there's many episodes where it focuses mainly on Hana, and then we have an episode focused on Mugi. It's kind of like that. It's like where the episodes swap back and forth, focusing on our two main characters and showing us their perspective of what they're going through. And overall, we have seen both of these characters. They have done some really slimy shit, and they've done some things that's just absolutely despicable, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? But because of all the stuff they've been through, they finally realized how cowardly they are, how scummy they are, and they want to actually just confront their problem head on instead of running away from it. And so before summer vacation ends, they want to confront the person they really love, they truly love, and what started all of this path of darkness. They want to confront the person they truly love and express their feelings towards them. And if they're rejected, they're rejected. They at the very least want closure on their feelings. If they know they won't be loved back, they at the very least want to have at the very least said something to them. They want to, the person they love to know that they do care about them in a way to where they want to be boyfriend-girlfriend. And I respect this growth that these two characters do and the decision they're making to where they want to actually finally say something. They don't want to just hide back and not say anything. They do want to confront their problem. They want to confront the main thing that has started all of this and has ruined so many relationships. They want to talk to the person they love. Now, as they already said, they're going to probably get rejected, which I instantly can see happening, because the teacher, Agne Sensei, no, she's heinous. Like, there's just no way that's not gonna happen. But there is a possibility, depending, that maybe the sensei and Hana might have a chance, but I highly doubt that as well because of the way this series is. But overall, there might be something there. We have no idea. We gotta see where, the sensei goes after, what the sensei did to him and all that. We don't know really much about him and what's happened ever since. We haven't actually even seen him in the series since then, now that I think about it. So that's kind of weird when, yeah, something probably bad really happened to that man. Anyways, though, I feel like if these two do confront, they're both people they love, I feel like what's going to happen next for the story when they try to actually start forming a relationship, I feel like the problems that are going to happen is that Agne Sensei is probably going to try to split them up, because we do know what type of, character she is. She's someone that wants to take from others. She wants to rip this person that loves someone from them and then bring it to herself. She's someone that's very selfish. She just wants to take from everyone, and she wants that feeling. She wants that feeling of being loved by someone else that loves someone else, and I can understand understand that this is probably what's gonna happen, that she's probably gonna realize that Mugi's starting to develop feelings for Hana, and she's probably gonna try to go after Mugi. And then we gotta remember, Mugi, even though he does, love his, sensei, his teacher, we do know that if he was to get rejected, but then eventually she was to come back, I wonder if he would say, like, yeah, sure, let's have a relationship. I wonder what would happen if he went down that path. It could definitely complicate things in the future if that's where the plot goes. So we'll see where that goes in the future of, Scum's Wish. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, how do you feel about this week's episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please be honest in the comments below. And I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.